Blessings everybody and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of the 8764 on Review Show. Back after a little hiatus, partly because I was busy and partly because including now I'm sick. I'm sick, but I'm playing hurt and I'm doing the show today. And back with a few, not a whole lot went on since we last went on here when the whole Obama and Carnival thing gone, but some major items and some not so major items. But we're gonna delve into a few. We're gonna delve into the whole Usain Bolt Carl Lewis thing started up again. Lord, we're sick and tired of Carl Lewis now, and we're gonna tell you why a little bit from now. The whole drug thing again after Bolt Carl out here saying should have been suspended for life. We'll get into that. And also a couple of tragedies that happened in dancehall or related to dancehall over the last couple of days. um, Involving one former member of the Portmore Empire and one former Down Sound Records artist. Very tragic times for dancehall the last couple of days. So we'll get into that. But first off, we're going to discuss a topic which, honestly, a lot of people are afraid to talk about on the record because of its taboo nature. But after what happened with Bridgez, most of you probably scratching your head wondering who Bridgez is. She's a former protege of Bounty Killer. She was a part of his alliance Next Generation stable. Up to 3 or 4 years ago, she was joining the group. And she came up with a new song the other day. She had done some work with Bounty's group and then left, went on her own, then come up with this Beretta alter ego thing and whatever. And now she had done a song which is called No Way Baby, which is a very raw, hardcore, heart to the core song talking about her sexual relationship with this guy and how she wants to take it further. And in this song, she come up with a lyric talking about how she would have gave oral, she would have gave up to him and she not care and all sorts of things. And that raised a lot of eyebrows. One, because no one heard of it. So a lot of people hadn't heard of this girl beforehand. So it's like, okay. And those who didn't know her knew that she didn't really do those kind of raw songs before. But as I said, she take on this new alter ego and she start getting more raunchy, which is what a lot of the female artists doing now. They have to sex them thing. They have to take up the sex thing to another level because sex sells. Let's be honest here. It's an old mantra, so cliche mantra, and more are willing to do risky things to get people to buy their records, watch their shows because after the shows, they dress up all, sexy and stuff because man wants to see attractive woman on stage. Just call it what it is. And them know that it's pulling power and things. So sex sells in so many ways in the music industry. But this lyric took a lot of people off, and it started up the whole debate again because anytime we mention that whole thing in the music, it's a big conundrum. Everybody has said, burn out them things. Can you know how the whole culture and dancehall is? Anytime them things that come up, we say, burn out them things. We not born, really. This is going back to the 90s when Shabba used to sing them born and all sorts of artists are burning out and them thing there. And you see me, bowing is something we just never accept in a Jamaican culture. And a lot of people, a lot of us still don't accept it because at the end of the day, it's a thing where you look at it and say, we don't believe in them thing that it's American culture, it's foreign culture, they believe in them something that we do not believe in pleasing or the opposite sex using our mouths, basically. So it's been a thing that has been the theme throughout dancehall for the largest part. But in the last few years, we have seen that it started to become more tolerable because we have seen artists, some female artists. There was one few years ago, Destiny Sparta, who of course is one of Tommy Lee Sparta's proteges and thing. And she did basically come out and say it in a song a few years ago. And I said, more people are start to understand. But this is going way before that. This is going from, remember when Cecile did do that song there, Give It To Me Baby. She did that song there back in 2004. And she was really the first female artist to come out and say, yeah, me like them something there. Me never have a problem with it. And if you have a problem with it, screw you. I don't care. You know what I mean? She was really the first female artist to really come up like that and say, you know, I like those things being done, and she doesn't mind the whole thing either way, right? So she was the first to really come out with it from a female perspective. Now, from a male perspective, obviously, they think about cartel. Cartel full that's the whole thing. You basically say what you do in your bedroom is your business. It don't matter. Nobody should care. Nobody should business what you do. What you want to do with the parts of your body is what you want to do. You understand? No, I've no problem with that. And him kind of take it to a next level. I'm not say it's him start it, but it's him take it to a next level where him say, yo, what is the problem? It's still pleasure and everybody enjoy it, right? So the way we look on it now is this. It's definitely a touchy topic because a lot of people just don't believe in it. I personally don't believe in it. That is just my mantra. But I and a lot of you out there know people who do it. You know what I mean? It's just facts because there are some people who believe that it's not a big deal and that at the end of the day, all pleasure is good pleasure. So why artists will feel like, well, if that's the way that we're going to as a society, no, it's becoming more acceptable. Everybody says it's 2015, we still have burn out them thing there, we still have burn out Boeing, we still have and whatever. And then at the end of the day, it's a thing where when we come in and say, well, first of all, why I think the big problem with this whole thing, with the Bridgez thing and everything else is why do we care so much? Why are we so preoccupied with the whole what people doing at them bedroom thing? No business what people are doing in their bedroom, Unless it's my bedroom that I go on in, I don't give a damn. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that stuff is personal. That stuff is for them business. If they want, do the freaky thing or do whatever they want to do, that is them business. I can't really, because I know people who've done it. We all know people who've done it, and friends and confidants who have tried it maybe and thing. And it's a situation where you look on it and you say, well, you do it, you do it. No, me not to criticize because at the end of the day, you know, me don't want to speak for what you fear do in your private life. You're thinking that, you understand? Me no business about what the next man want. You want to do, or what the next woman want to do. I don't care. It's not really a topic where we should really divulge into without knowing the facts, right? So I look at it and I said, all of these artists know, and it didn't surprise me when I heard this lyric because, as I said, Cecile come out. Remember the Lisa Hyde picture? She come out and said, "Yeah, I did it." So what? The pictures and everything. And have other artists come out and say, "Yeah, it's not really that. It's not really that big a deal because we're becoming more tolerant. We're catching up with the rest of the world as far as that is concerned." And the way I look at it, I say, I would not be surprised if in the coming, I don't know, I don't know what time to quantify, but soon enough, I think a big name artist, male, female, whatever, I will come out and I'll go full gas that whole thing. And basically say, yeah, I've done it, so what now? Guys, of course, because they don't know, say, as man, we know of it, when a man had them thing, they will burn them out, chastise them, all kind of thing, and you see me, endless ridicule. You understand? But I think one of these days you're going to see bigger names than her come out and say, "Yeah, I've done it. So what? Who cares? Why should you care about what I do in my bedroom?" And because we've heard rumors of all sorts of artists, and things never been substantiated, but all sorts of rumors we have heard about certain big names who would do it. You understand? Now I call none, but you know who they are, because we've all talked about it getting back to school days and whatever, right? So the way I look at it is, I think we're starting to see a shift where more artists going to say, you know what? Why don't we just? The culture is going the way it is. You see more and more artists getting raunchy and raunchier with their lyrics, raunchy and raunchier with their visuals. We talked about DeMarco months ago. We talked about Ricky Carty and that whole low-rent porno last year. And we talked about all sorts of things. Where artists started moving that direction. Alkaline and his washing tendencies and all of that. So we see all of this and we see a shift go on where people just say, them into different kinds of things, and they're willing to share it because that's the way society is going. And unfortunately, it's just that something where people just going to have to accept because at the end of the day, it's just the way the thing is going, and that doesn't mean we have to care. I think, there's one thing where it's one thing if you listen to these lyrics and you get all upset, but that's the thing. The lyrics are supposed to cause that reaction because when somebody come up with a shock lyric like that, saying them bow and them do all these kind of freaky things in bed, the reaction is supposed to be, they're anticipating that. They want you to get upset. They want you to get all flustered and all them things there. But the bottom line is, if you don't care about it because it's not happening in your bedroom and you don't believe in certain things and you don't do certain things, then it won't matter to you. The music and which contain those lyrics will just fade away into oblivion and no one will give a damn, right? So the way I look on it is, yeah, it's going in that direction, and so it's a thing where some will not approve, some will approve, because it will always be a taboo topic within Jamaican music circles. But as far as I see it, I couldn't care less. You shouldn't either. Why? Because it's not your sex life, and as far as you do what you want to do in the bedroom, and whether other people will like it or whatever is your call. But this is what next man or next girl want to talk about with them sex life. As long as if it don't have anything to do with me, I don't want to know. So that's just the bottom line, right? So that is that, and feel free to share your topic because of course it's a hot topic while going on the music for God knows how long. So definitely we have to think about that. So some tidbits to go on to talk about. One of which one came from the sports world. Now, of course, by now you would have seen the great Usain Bolt and his comments about Tyson Gate, the American runner, where they test positive for steroids a couple of years ago, but cooperate with the anti-doping agency over in the States and get him suspension. Backdated to come back last year and all of that, and he's back in the running now. He's back in trying to get himself ready for Olympics, as everybody are trying to take down the boss now, right? So, but they come out in an interview and basically say, I found that whole thing ridiculous. Why is Tyson getting a pass? If you ask me, he should be suspended for life. All people who test positive for performance-enhancing drugs should go out for life and all of these things. I look at it and I say, it's a real point in my because if you purposefully cheating and purposefully trying to gain an advantage, well, no major sport really has that policy where one and done, where if you cheat, you're out for good. But yeah, you could argue that the punishment should be much more stringent. I don't know in athletics. First time it tests positive, something like that, 2 years, and then the next time it tests positive for that, I think it's twice that or 4 times that, 4 or 8 years. I'm not quite sure, but it's much longer than the 2 previously, obviously. And then to keep up with that, after a while, you'll be banned for life from the sport. No, him said that, and people like, okay, well, I understand what you say, and things. But no, Carl Lewis, and of course, the history between Carl Lewis and Usain Bolt. From 2012, both Lewis not really considered Bolt the greatest of all time, and him have him up because you don't know it's a competitive thing, because Carl Lewis was regarded as the best in his sport all around when he competed in the 80s, albeit under suspicion that he was taking some of the same stuff he was, but we won't go there. So he basically, him calling out Bolt from them time there, and war of words. I remember when Bolt was in that video when Olympics was done and he was in the ice bath, and the boss said, "Y'all go Lou. Anytime y'all go Lou, it doing a Carl Lewis," and him just the Lewis with the Lou the Lewis. Yeah. So basically, Carl Lewis come back now after Bolt comments and just say about how Bolt should worry about cleaning up his own country because we have seen Jamaica indulge in these things in the last few years, and how end of the day Bolt needs to clean up his own house and keep his opinions to himself. That's basically what he said to some newspaper in India and thing, and the comments going all around. No, first of all, Carl, I'm sorry, but you just sound so bitter right now, and you've been sounding bitter since 2012 because You clearly are either jealous of this man, of Usain Bolt, or you just want to hug the spotlight. Because yes, Jamaica has come under scrutiny for the cases that happened with Veronica and Asaf and Sharon Simpson. But you notice in all of those cases they were all found innocent of any wrongdoing, because Veronica's case turned out to be a medical issue, so she get a little blind, and then with Asaf and Sharon, they did not knowing to take any drugs, and there's a whole issue of tainted supplements with this Canadian trainer and all sort of things. So they were found innocent. Now, yes, there are other cases where performance enhancing drugs were taken, and you do the crime, you do the time, or so it go. You know what I mean? But my point is, all history as far as drugs and getting into this kind of problem, it's only recent, because we admit our anti-doping thing was a farce, basically, because we weren't testing people as much as we should have been. That's just a fact. Either because we're too lazy, or don't have the facility, or whatever the case may be, we just weren't testing as much as we should have. So you look at that and you say, boy, our thing is more recent. But if you look at the US thing, not use the US at this from the 80s. Basically, Carl Lewis heyday, and Carl Lewis was, of course, suspected of it. How many times by how many people, especially during that whole race when Ben Johnson, they get caught and he got sent away. And you notice, of course, when Ben Johnson they get caught, them all of a sudden call him Jamaica, even though he was representing Canada, because them not to call him Jamaican and Ray and Soul all good name and things. So the whole perception from North Americans. But that's another story for another day. But you look at that and you say, we must clean up our house in order when your house has been out of order for God knows how long, from your day to with Marion Jones to Gatlin, who, twice and thing, and then come back, and now gay. Come on now. Isn't this a situation of the pot calling the kettle black here? Seriously, it's really, really silly as far as I am concerned. And I think Carl Lewis is just showing more and more of his bitterness by the every time he talks about Bolt. I don't think he respects the man as much as he claims he does. And I think he just needs to shut his yap. I'm sorry. I know any Americans that say this, well, so it goes. Tough luck. That's how we look on it. You understand? So I just think, yes, it puts us, the comments by Bolt put us as risk, because it makes sure we have to make our thing more stringent so that we don't end up in situations like this. And both, of course, of keeping things clean. But I don't know, sir, our thing has been clean. We do this thing based on our cassava. We don't need more supplements to make our thing go along. That is why we're the greatest track nation on earth. So as far as I see it, just more nonsense coming out of Carl's mouth and thing. And as far as I see it now, will we see more stringent measures? I don't know and thing. And at the end of the day, Bolt has to beat these guys, because US are coming. US are sick and tired of us running the sport like we have done last two Olympics or the World Championships and all of that. So they want to come back. They want to come next year in Rio and take for the title from us. Gatlin more motivated than ever. Gay coming back, with the females, they don't know the 4x1 team out of this world for their team. They broke the record in London. So, it's going to be a big showdown next year. And of course, both looking for a three-peat. So we'll see how it goes. With us at the World Relays, some good moments, some bad moments with that. But of course, the money event is the World Championships at the end of August. So we'll see where we are, where Bolt is, as we try to defend our titles next year in Brazil. Right? So, a couple other things. Dexter Daps, watch the video by now. He's supposed to be in court sometime next week, I believe, as he answers the charges of this case where him and these policemen at Sunset Airport International Airport in Mobile were, a physical altercation. Like basically, it starts over the smallest of things. Basically, him parking vehicle in front of the departure lounge. Them say, if it dead there, and my customer to say, nothing wrong. And then all of a sudden, you see a video of him being held on the ground by a bunch of police officers and all sort of thing and whisked away. No, when I saw the video, the first thing I think is, really, Did the police really need to make a big deal out of this? Yeah, Dexter didn't do himself enough favors by cursing and bad words and those things, but police kind of go too far with it still. You want a man to move, just get the man to move, calm the situation down before you make it escalate, please. You know what I mean? We're seeing of police brutality going on in the States. We don't need to follow them. Please, calm yourself down. You know what I mean? So, of course, Dexter, as a upcoming artist, 7-Eleven, Morning Love, and all of these songs rising up. And also, when you look at it, you also say, well, the bad rap artists from dancehall artists have been getting the last few years. Police aren't necessarily the most fond of them. So, some will look at it and say it's a stereotype thing. But yeah, it never really need to go that far. Ironically, he's supposed to be here in Toronto next weekend for a show. And he can claim say everything all right, he can still travel despite the fact that he have this case coming up, this trial coming up. So we'll see how that goes. And finally, on a somber note, much more somber note, of course, two tragedies that happened in the Jamaican music scene over the last 2 days, actually. On Thursday, Taya Bogdanovich, the wife of Dancehall CEO Joe Bogdanovich, passed away after a lengthy battle with diabetes, passed away in the States. And first of all, when I heard this, I was actually caught off guard because I didn't know Taya was married to Joe. That was another thing in itself. But apparently she had been battling it for a while. There was a stage when she had lost sight, according to people close to the situation. And it was really rough because I hadn't seen her in a while. I had been wondering what happened to her. Remember, she was really the first lady of Dancehall Records when Dancehall was just coming up back in 2011. That she was the first female to really come into the scene, long before Aisha, long before all of these other people come in and things. And she was away from the spotlight. People were wondering what happened to her. And then they heard she was sick and we didn't know what the illness was. In terms of the diabetes, diabetes is no joke, people. It's hereditary in my family, so I know how that thing go. And it's a shame. She was in her 30s. She had a young child. It's a really sad case. And condolences go out to Joe in this time. Definitely, he was reportedly doing a show in Florida. Heard about it, devastated, obviously. So condolences to him, and also condolences to Marital family. Them lose one of them soldiers the other day, Corey. They're Sing J, one of the leading members of the group. He was shot and killed during that incident yesterday in Mobay, near a casino, from what I have heard. So a whole lot of sad vibes, from that, because remember Marital family come out with the song My Money Haha years back, 2009 with Cartel, big song, #1 song, and it looked like Marital was going to be one of the prodigies really bust out the empire, but we all know how that went. They accused Cartel of stifling them and taking royalties from that song, My Money Haha, and they didn't really see a lot of money out of it, despite all the success it was having locally and abroad. So that led the group to leave, and then the group kind of split up a little bit. One member got held in the States on cocaine charges. One left because he didn't want to do pursue a solo career. So, a lot of turbulence was going on in the group, but they were still relatively close. And then you hear this, and it's a really sad situation. So our time prayers go to Marital and all the, a lot of former Empire members have come out and said they're saddened by the news. Lisa Hyper, Javinci, Gaza Slim. So, definite condolences. We hate to see, artists drop out, especially when them in them prime, like those two were. So definitely we hope say the industry can bounce back from these events. So that is it for another episode. I hope you guys could bear with me because again I'm way below 100% right now. It's a spring season, so you don't know when the weather change, everybody just start get flu, get sick. So bear with me on this one with the coughing and whatnot. Of course, shout out to all the mothers out there. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. You don't know, big occasion for the year. Say, make sure you show love to your mother. Give her a nice gift, all of those things, and play some big Mother's Day tunes. You don't know, Sizzler, Thank You Mama, and Bounty Killer. Mama is not in a good mood. I Octane, Mama, you have a whole lot of good mother songs from, present day artists and vintage Mother's Day songs. You can, look up, play 1 and 2 for your mother and show her the appreciation and the love. You don't know, if you don't love your mother, you can't, really make it show on this earth. You have to show love and appreciation for the one who make you. So give thanks and praises for all the mothers out there, whether with your, mother, whether they with the father or single mothers, whatever. So big up all the mothers out there, straight. You know what I mean? So we'll see you next time. And thing, we have a guest host coming on the show pretty soon, so look out for that. Leave your comments on any of the topics we have discussed today, and we'll see you next time. Peace out.